in my career, I've learned that art is something that asks a question and design is usually something that's answering a question. I'm super prolific. I make a ton of work, and a lot of it is bad. I think I've gotten to that point where I'm very comfortable making bad work, and I think you can sort of see the gesture or the important part in the bad work. As you're making work, you're looking to find new answers in the work itself, or the work to sort of like produce some surprising results. And that's part of the reason I love working with technology. It's an innovation that allows for the work to speak back to you a little bit quicker, a little bit broader. The machine is gonna take you places where your imagination won't. I think that's a really compelling thing. I grew up on the aesthetics of California. Growing up here, I think whether it's the Pacific Ocean, the sunset, the culture, the things we did as kids, riding bikes around our neighborhoods, I think like California has a certain air to it that feels like a gradient or feels like a gauzy pink to orange sky or something like that, that just, it's here, you can feel it. I don't know how else to say it. I found design first through my dad, who was drawing and painting all the time when I was a kid. And so one, it came naturally to me. Two, I wanted to be just like my dad, so started trying to kind of copy the things he was doing. When I found typography, I think that's when everything clicked into place. Type is the gift that kind of gave me everything artistically. Like through type, I was able to make sense of this sort of abstract, crazy world. It really gave me a place to sort of ground myself. I think that when you are able to start looking at color, shape, proportion, depth, light, and you can kind of move through the world and see the beauty in these things, I think you can't help but to bring it over into your work, or help find a way to like take that inspiration from your morning dog walk or whatever and bring it into your work. Art for me has always been a way for me to sort of take ownership over my work. I think so much of my work is dictated by clients, and there's multiple approvers and bureaucracy to get through before a work can go out into the world or be considered done. And I think I always needed something that was mine, that I was in charge of, that was up to me to make critical decisions on. And so in a way, it was almost like a form of therapy. For me, it was like a space to explore things where no one could touch my work. If I wasn't making design, I was making art. And if I wasn't making art, I was making design. And I actually really enjoy the dialogue that the two have between them. The space underneath there.
I think even having blocks up here, you kind of have some already.
I love being part of a team. I love working with people. I love being surprised by how other artists who I work with handle some of the same problems that I'm trying to solve. For this project, it's me, Audrey, and Yuan, who's in Copenhagen. We never do anything alone. Everything that we do, we're always working together. I've learned over my career that the best results come from having many voices in the work. So this one is a little different in that we're not building a long-form generative system around it, but we're doing all the same steps that we would normally follow to get there. And so in a way, it's fun because we're doing something different. We're making very deterministic paintings. We were playing around with these ideas of aggregated images. How do you condense 74 laps at 154 miles per hour into one image? We're trying to combine multiple images into one. We're trying to convey, obviously, speed. We're trying to convey repetition. We're trying to delete things that we think don't matter while trying to emphasize things that we think should be louder or matter more. You know, for this, a lot of it's driven by story. Like, we're literally watching the race, learning the story of what happened in 2016 in Monaco, or, you know, whatever, where the race was won on lap 54. I can't really even explain why I was so inspired by this idea. Like, I immediately wanted to do it. And for me, I think it's the graphic, repetitive nature of the racetrack. This is a world I want to live in, with evenly spaced red and white stripes, all these incredible blocks of bright color and repetitious, evenly spaced shapes. Just is that makes me happy and is artistically interesting to me. You know, we're asking people to, like, if you love racing, maybe look at these images and think a little bit more about the color, the repetition, the patterns, and sort of this simplified view. it's a beautiful way to walk around and you know, see the world. Like I said, whether you're walking in a mall or out amongst the redwoods with your dog.